Okay, today is episode number 288. I have Rich Kienlen here, who is a Bradley County probation officer. He is embarking into an arena that's not familiar with him. We're going to hear all about it. I have a list of all my notes that I'm going to ask him. It's going to be a great discussion. You ever work at your office and you end up carrying two pair of glasses? Yes. I got one pair I can see the computer with, and one pair I can see you with. I don't really have to have either one of them, but I'm just used to it. And sometimes I go home with two or three clipped to me. You know, if you buy a real expensive pair of glasses, you won't lose them. And if you buy some cheap ones, you know, you just sit on them, it don't matter. These are so bent up. Anyway, what I was doing before you came in is I was trying to get logged into Microsoft. I was talking to AI and trying to correct something, and either it was me or it, but I was doing something totally different yesterday, and today it's telling me something completely different. So probably I misunderstood. But I just figured it out at 10 after 3. So my mind's still in the middle of that login thing, waiting for an email. It's the craziest stuff. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, the social media stuff has just gotten way out of hand. It's very crazy. And you can get so engrossed in it, before you know it, you're on there scrolling for 2 hours.
I'll be home at night and get ready to go to bed, and I'll check my emails once more, and the next thing you know, I'm looking at how they're making donuts.
Right.
and it's been 45 minutes.
Right.
It's crazy.
It is.
And I don't even care how they make donuts, but I'm watching it.
You get sucked in, for sure.
But that AI, it is so amazing. I almost feel like I've got a connection with that Microsoft Copilot, but I just know it was telling me something different yesterday. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's completely right all the time. Do you?
No.
Which one do you prefer?
Well, I try to stay away from it as much as I can. I do that chat GPT some. Mm-hmm. Like if we get questions about referee questions, I'll go into Chat GPT and they say, don't bank on that. Don't bank on that because it's going to give you a wrong answer. And the last couple of times I've done it, it did give me a wrong answer.
Well, I've tried them all, and Microsoft Copilot is the best by far. It's absolutely unreal. And I'm going to find out here later that what I was doing yesterday was probably incorrect, but it'll remember what you talked about last month. It keeps it. You don't even have to have a file cabinet anymore. It'll keep all the information.
Wow. Microsoft
Copilot.
I have to
If
try
you
that.
log in, give your name, and start talking to it, it'll answer every question. It'll remember what you say. It even says, isn't it time for you to go home? Because this is your normal time that you go home, all this stuff. It's bizarre.
It's scary, isn't it? It's a little
It
scary.
really is. So I didn't realize you was a referee.
Yeah, I've been refereeing high school, middle school, and elementary for about 24 years now.
You remember Dirty Deals?
Yes, I do. Yes.
He liked that, didn't he?
He
Didn't he
like
have a business card with Dirty Deals on it?
That's what he called it, Dirty Deals, yeah. Yep. He was an interesting referee. He sure was.
He probably was. And the other referee I remember is Coach Rowan, of course.
Coach Rowan, yeah.
And then a coach Sales?
Coach Sales, yeah.
What was his first name?
Who?
Larry.
Larry Sells, yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, Larry. Do you remember Rico?
Nope.
Rico used to referee football, basketball, softball.
What do you referee?
Basketball.
Basketball.
Now, I have done football and volleyball and basketball and softball, but my passion or my love is basketball.
Has the what's a foul changed?
Well, kids have gotten so physical and so athletic and so talented that if you call every little bump, you'll be there all night.
So back in the day, you touch them, it's a foul.
Foul, yeah.
But nowadays, who brought that? Which player brought on the really rough? Was it that guy that had the colored hair?
Rodman?
Yeah, Rodman.
Well, I think the Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, were pretty rough back in the 80s. You know, they had what they called the Jordan rules, and they weren't going to let Jordan beat them until he finally did. But now, you know, it's kind of like football. You can't touch the quarterback, and they're throwing a flag. I remember the days in the old Oakland Raiders, Tatum used to take your head off. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, there's targeting and all this other stuff going on. So it's gotten, I mean, they're physical, but they don't let you be as physical, especially in football. And basketball is the same way. It's gotten so physical. Kids are so athletic and can run and jump faster than they ever have. You try to let kids play through some of that stuff.
You know what I've noticed, and I'm not a big sports fan. I've watched one football game my whole life, and I ate ice cream sandwiches the whole time it was playing. So I'm not into a lot of that, any of it. But what I've noticed is that nowadays it seems like they're letting the kids adapt their own movements rather than the old strenuous get the bat off your shoulder, stand in the box and all that. They're letting them let their own way of doing it. Whereas before it was seemed to be more regimented.
More fundamental.
More fundamentals.
Yeah. The discipline and the fundamentals have gone in all sports, it seems.
Do you think it's better to not? I mean, but by your own admission, the kids are faster and more. So maybe that was always it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough to call a basketball game because there's so many moving parts.
In seconds too.
Yeah, and it's quick.
With football, at least you got to.
You do, and
you got a little more peripheral vision, maybe.
Yep, and you got a few more officials, and you don't have to throw the flag as quickly. In basketball, you got to be quick. You're gonna call it, or you're gonna let it go.
Or let it go.
Yeah, you got to make that decision quick.
Watch that one. Watch that a little closer next time, or something.
Yep. But I love it. I would go out and referee every night if I could.
Is that right?
I do, even in spite of. I mean, fans and parents have gotten, out of hand now. I paid my money. I can come say what I want to the officials. And it gets a little hairy sometimes, but you just try to be consistent and fair. And I feel like, having been a referee for as long as I have, it will help me in the political arena in this respect. I get criticized every time I blow the whistle.
Yeah.
I make 50% happy, 50% unhappy. So you try to be consistent. Every time. So you try to be consistent, you try to be fair, you try to get in position. There are times where you miss them and you say, hey, Coach, I just missed that one. I'll try to do better next time.
Or maybe it's probably hard to admit that. You got to be careful, right?
You got to be careful, yeah. When I first started, I had rabbit ears real bad. I remember refereeing a freshman game, and Coach Aaron Green, who's up at Oak Ridge now, he came and watched, and he was hollering, Rich, that's a foul. And I said, no, it's not. Yeah, that's a foul. Said, not tonight, it's not. I've got the whistle and the striped shirt. It's not a foul. And so I've gotten better over the years to, hey, Rich, I think you missed that charge down there. And I said, you think I did? And yeah, well, I'll try to get the next one. Mm-hmm. And so you just try to listen, because here's the bottom line. When people fuss, coaches fuss, fans fuss, I don't ever go back and change my call. Mm-hmm. So I'm not changing my call. So There's some coaches that'll say, well, I'm working you for the next call. And I'll say, well, no, you're kind of making me mad for the next call. Because I am human, and so you try to take that human nature part of it. Because if you got a coach riding you a little bit and he's doing more refereeing than he is coaching, that when it comes to a block charge that are hard to call, I'm going to probably go against him. You know, he's been riding me.
What do they call it, cognitive dissonance, something like that?
Yeah. So you try to take that element out of your game and out of your refereeing and just try to hustle and get in the best position that you can. But like I said, you're going to miss them, just like kids miss free throws, kids miss shots. That's the interesting thing. People expect you to be 100% right. There's no way.
No way.
I don't like the replay in sports, because I think the human element of missing is part of the game. It's part of people miss shots, coaches make bad decisions. Hey, we're going to get in the 2-3 zone, and then the guy shoots them out of the 2-3 zone. So I personally don't like the replay. I know they say, we got to get it right, but it's the human element of the game.
You know, that's something else that AI might eliminate if it had a big view.
Yeah. Well, you know, in baseball now, they're getting where the home plate can call the balls and strikes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I've sent AI a picture. It kept asking me what I meant. I just finally sent it a screenshot. It read the screenshot.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
So, but your day job's what, a probation officer?
Yeah, I'm the director of Bradley County Probation. In 2003, Mayor Davis appointed me as the director of probation. We hadn't had a probation program in the county, so we run a misdemeanor probation program. So anything 11 months, 29 days or less comes to our program. We get them out of Sessions Court and Criminal Court. We're in Sessions Court every day. There's cases that get placed on probation every day. And my mandate was I had to be self-sufficient. I couldn't cost the taxpayers any money at all. And we've managed to do that for 23 straight years. I'm very proud of that fact. Very proud of that fact.
What's that job involve? I mean, what would you do?
Well, we're in court every day, so people get arrested and they go to court and they get arraigned. They get they're told what they're charged with. They have an opportunity to plead guilty that day, or they may put it off for a preliminary hearing. So we get cases put on probation. Our responsibility is to do whatever the judgment mandates, whether it's 10 days community service, anger management, alcohol drug assessment. For example, a DUI, you got to do a DUI class, victim impact panel. So we're responsible with managing those judgments, making sure they pay their fines and costs, making sure if they do get in trouble that we report a violation to the court. So it's pretty in-depth. Most of the officers in my office, we have about 6 other officers, including myself. We carry caseloads of about 300 people. It's amazing how much crime goes on in Bradley County.
Misdemeanors.
Misdemeanors.
Yeah.
I mean, you could come over there on a Tuesday and Thursday. That's our what we call a DA and public defender day, where pleas are made. The courtroom's packed every Tuesday and Thursday. Last Thursday, because they didn't have court Tuesday, the judge was sick. They didn't get out of court till 7:15, starting at 9 o'clock.
What's a misdemeanor?
So a misdemeanor could be a DUI, a shoplifting, simple possession of marijuana.
Domestic dispute?
Domestic dispute, yep.
I bet there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of those. There is a lot of those.
And the spouse changes their minds, right?
We have a lot of that.
Like
they call the police and they come and arrest the husband,
they say,
for
oh,
example.
that's not what I meant.
Yep. And then they want to go to court the next day and drop it. Happens a lot.
Can they drop it?
They can. But now if there is, abuse where you can see it, they may not want to prosecute, but the DAs can still prosecute without them. Makes it a little tougher.
Surely they're busier than that, right?
Yeah.
You would think.
You would think, yeah. But, yeah, we have a lot of them dropped. If it's an aggravated assault or aggravated domestic, the law requires them to be on what's called a GPS, which is an ankle monitor.
Oh, yeah, I've known some guys with that.
Yep. So that becomes costly. Mm-hmm. It's a $100 setup fee and about $400 a month. So that becomes very costly.
It's cheaper not to commit a misdemeanor, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, if you get a DUI,
Yeah.
you're going to have $1,069 to pay. Your SR, you're going to have SR22 insurance. You're going to have an interlock device. You're going to have to go to a DUI school and a victim impact panel. That's another $225. And you're going to have to pay probation fees. So it becomes expensive.
Do not drink and drive.
No, get your 12-pack and go to the house.
Yeah, just do something. Don't drink and drive.
But there's a ton of it. There is just a ton of it. And you would think all the Mothers Against Drunk Drivers and all the stuff, the accident we had out here at Christmas.
That was a big one.
That you would think people wouldn't drink and drive, but it still happens every week.
I believe some people get to drinking and they lose their sense of thinking and they don't even rationalize not driving.
No.
It's just stupidity.
Well, they think they're not as drunk as they are.
Yeah.
I've only had 2, or I've only had 3, and my father was a social alcoholic. He could drink and drive, and it didn't bother him. And we lived in a little town in Iowa, and he would drive slow and make it home, but he would go from bar to bar.
They say that's what the police look for, is the guy driving real slow.
Yeah.
Or with his bright lights on or something.
That's a big red flag.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
These self-driving cars may allow drunks to get in the car and drive.
Yeah, that's a scary thing, isn't it? Yeah.
The probation, they have an office in Cleveland?
Yeah, so our office is connected to the Justice Center. We moved over there in 2017. When they built the workhouse, they built our office as well. So.
I saw you on social media with my cousin Tim Gobble.
Yes.
That's my first cousin. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, his mother is my mother's sister.
I have a lot of respect and admiration for Tim. Tim's got a tough job on the parole board.
He's on the big one, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He would, if Tim says they need to stay there, they probably need to stay there.
He probably knows what he's talking about. Yep.
On the lenient side, I would say.
Yep. Well, with him being in law enforcement and being the former sheriff, I don't know if he'd be on the lenient side or not. I think he'd be a little tough to convince to get out on parole.
Maybe so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say that his answer would be correct.
Yeah.
Is my guess, whether it's whichever way. Let's see. Iowa. What's a long ways away? And how long does it take to drive to Iowa?
About 11 and a half hours.
11 and a half hours. You can be in Oklahoma by then.
Yep. Yeah, I was born and raised in Burlington, Iowa, right on the Mississippi River, right across the river from Illinois and 50 miles from Missouri.
So you were the show me state and the... Is Missouri like that? Are people like that in Missouri?
I don't know that many people in Missouri. We
Did you
just
say
kind of
50
traveled
miles?
through. Yeah, just 50 miles. Yeah. Yep. We just would travel through there. I came to Lee in 1981.
Oh.
I was raised Lutheran and came down here to a Church of God school, and that was brand new for me. But ended up graduating in 85. It was 4 of the best years of my life. Met people all over the world. Had a great experience at Lee once I got past the first semester. Hated it the first semester.
Is Lutheran, that's the divorced Catholic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The guy nailed the peg on the wall.
That's right, Martin Luther.
Martin Luther nailed the peg on the wall.
Yep.
Why does that saying resonate so much with people? I just, they nailed the peg on the wall.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
I've heard that my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, I was raised Lutheran, and I had a buddy that was Baptist, and he asked me one day if I'd be interested in going down south to a Christian school. And I said, yeah, I would. And he said, well, there's Lee College. We didn't know anything about it. We kind of came down here on blind faith.
Well, how did you find out then? Because there wasn't any social media.
No, he was looking for a Christian school, and he had some guy come through his church and run revival. And he asked him, do you know any good Christian schools down south? And the guy said, yeah, there's Lee College in Cleveland, Tennessee. Never heard of Cleveland, Tennessee. My dad was the one that actually came down and checked it out. He drove a Bluebird school bus. They needed school buses in Florida. So he drove one from Iowa to Florida. And on his way, he stopped through and
Just to take a look, see.
take it to look at Lee College. Yeah, yeah.
What was his report?
It was funny. He said, well, on the back side of it, it looks like it's the ghetto. So,
Right.
and of course wow, Lee College has changed so much in 45
In
years.
'81, when did the dorm burn? Remember that? Was that about '81?
That was 83.
'83.
Yeah, it was 83 because I lived in that dorm. I wasn't there.
Was it rough?
It was a bad.
Old?
Yeah, it was old. It was old. Yeah. But yeah, it was bad. I went there because after I got there the first year, they redid Walker Hall, which was on Ocoee Street. Mm-hmm. And of course, they raised the price, so I went to the cheaper one, which was Ellis Hall. And but yeah, it may have been 80, may have been a little longer than 83 because I wasn't there at Lee when it burned. It may have been 87.
I remember. I just don't remember when.
Yeah.
What was your? Did your buddy come down here too?
He did.
What was his name?
His name was Gilbert Gibson.
Did he go 4 years?
He did. He graduated. Actually, he's teaching at Virginia State College as a professor.
He turned out okay? He liked it?
He liked it too. He went to Knoxville and got his master's degree and then got his doctorate degree, and he was a lot smarter than I was.
Y'all still communicate?
All the time. We're best friends.
Even were y'all for good friends there?
Yeah, we were best friends. Yep.
Isn't that's a good story, isn't
it is. I mean, I thank him every year because he probably saved my life getting me out of Iowa, and there wasn't much to do in Burlington. My dad worked at Champion Spark Plugs, making the top of the spark plug for 45 years. And he retired from there.
But did he drive the bus on the way on weekends or something?
No, there were people looking for buses to take down to Florida, and he just volunteered to drive one.
So it was just an off thing.
Yeah, yep.
45 years making batteries, making spark plugs.
Yeah, I remember going, and I was at Lee my second year, and I remember I'd never been to his place, and I said, Dad, I don't really know what you do. I'd like to come out and see what you do. He was what they called a Davenport operator. He had 3 machines, and this steel thing would go through this machine. He'd make the top of the machine. It was the most boring thing I'd ever seen. I said, this is what you do every day? And he said, yeah. And I said, how could you possibly do this every day for this long? Mm-hmm. And he was like, he was a big union man. Yeah. And he said, I have the mindset I'm going to put out more today than I did yesterday. And that's my mindset every day I come to work. He loved his job. It's a good paying job.
Good benefits and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I admire people like that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
They're solid.
Solid. That's exactly right. I said, you're a better man than me. I couldn't do that. Mm. I just couldn't do it. It took me 1 year, one summer working at a wicker factory to realize I needed to go back to school. So when I graduated high school, I thought I wanted to make money. I worked all summer at a wicker factory, loading and unloading semi-trucks. And I said, no, this ain't for me. I got to go back to school.
Is that when you came to Lee?
I went to Southeastern Community College the first semester, had back surgery, and had to stay out the second semester, and then I came the following year to Lee. And so I was here from 81 to 85, graduated with a sociology degree, minor in psychology, and everybody comes out with a minor in Bible. So,
what was your first day like?
Oh, it was horrible. At that time, there was about probably 800 students at Lee. And if you weren't Church of God, you stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, you could pick them out.
You could pick them out. And they found out real quickly that I was Lutheran and he was Baptist, and they wanted to pull on us and spit at us and get us saved. I remember calling my dad and I said, Dad, I need to come home. And we had rode down together, me and my friend. He had bought a camper. and put everything we owned in there. And I told my dad, I said, I need to come home. I said, this isn't going to work. And he said, I'm not coming to get you. So I don't know how you're going to get home. And I said, this is horrible. And he said, stick it out for a semester. This shows his wisdom. Stick it out for a semester. We'll come home. When you come home, we'll talk about it. So when I got home at the semester, I said, Dad, I don't want to go back. And he said, you're already halfway through the year. Finish the year, and then we'll talk about it. So I finished the year, and by then it started getting a little better, and you meet some people, and finished the year, and then I never thought about it.
Did they ever convert you?
Oh, well, I'm going to a Church of God now. I go to Mount Olive Church of God with Pastor Sears.
Oh, yeah, I had him here.
Yes.
Boy, what a great guy.
Oh, he's super.
Solid.
Yes. Great shepherd.
Yeah, boy, he can pray, can't he?
He can. He sure can. He sure
I had
can.
him pray on here.
Yes. Yeah, he's a great man of God. Him, Pastor Gary, and Pastor James are both just great people. Great people.
Yeah, I see him at the Old Fort some in the mornings, the Old Fort restaurant.
Yep.
Gary Sears. So did you work part-time anytime you were in college here?
I worked at the work-study program. Bill Winters was over the financial aid at that time, and he got me on the work-study program. So for 3 years, I worked maintenance, and he managed to give me all kinds of hours, winter hours, summer hours. I mowed every part of that property at Lee College. I would have never graduated. Yeah, under every tree.
Did your dad was he not able to pay for it?
My dad, he had never been to college. And when I got ready to leave, he gave me $500 and he said, you're on your own.
Well, how did you pay the tuition?
Well, I ended up borrowing money. When I graduated, I had about $12,000 in debt. I would go down and get a student loan. My buddy, who had a lot more faith than I did, he would, when it got ready to, you couldn't take your finals unless your bill was paid. And I'd say, Gilbert, what are you going to do? He said, I don't know. God will make a way. And I said, well, I'm going to go get a student loan so I can pay mine, so I can take mine. And he'd get towards the end, and they'd say, Mr. Gibson, come on in here. We got a scholarship for you. He graduated, only had a $1,000 bill. I had $12,000.
Where do you borrow the money at for that?
I borrowed it at a bank in Iowa. I filled out for an application for a loan. And
how did was it a government student loan?
It was a student loan. I had 10 years to pay it back after I graduated. So, yeah, I would have never got through there. Now, I don't know, it's $20,000 or $25,000 a year to go there.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's almost criminal for students to have to worry about their finances while they're going to school.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's because some students don't have to worry about that.
Right.
They're an advantage.
Right. Yeah, I didn't let my faith work very much. I just figured I got to pay this bill. I'm gonna go down here and see if I can get a loan.
Do you have to pay on it while you're going?
Nope. I didn't have to pay on it until a year after I graduated.
What if you decided to quit? You just had to pay it?
I think I would have had to start paying on it then.
As one thing that kept you in, you'd have to start paying on that.
Right. That's exactly right.
Did you have any jobs at restaurants or anything during that time?
No, I wish I would have known about, because after I graduated and went to work at Hiawassee Mental Health Center, I got a part-time job at Bradley Cleveland Services, Development Services, with the handicap.
Oh, yeah, Walter Hunt?
Yes,
Walter Hunt.
Yes. I worked in the group home for 7 or 8 years, and that would have been a great job to have at college because you could have worked weekends or nights. And I ended up going in there and working the weekends and being a director for the weekends. And so
people don't know how Walter Hunt reshaped or shaped the care of handicapped people in Bradley County.
I mean, he's got, I don't know how many group homes here now.
That are not even operated by him. I mean, they don't have a clue what that guy did. I remember him coming down to Cope's restaurant when he was just sort of starting that thing. They sort of thought he was crazy for doing that.
Well, he was wonderful, man. And Diane Jackson has followed suit. I mean, she's done a great job with Bradley Cleveland Services. Yep.
You can't I don't know if we have a more important organization.
No, it's a
Boys
great
and Girls
organization.
Club's important, but not like that.
No,
I don't
no,
think.
and they have some nice homes.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
nice homes.
Yeah. Big board now,
Big
too.
board too. Yeah.
Walter would roll over in his grave. He was so tight, wasn't he tight?
He was tight. Yeah. I remember when I worked for Walter, they had a group home for juvenile delinquents.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I was working the group home, and these kids, we'd get them from Memphis and everywhere. Mm-hmm. And we had a couple that would just run off. Uh-huh. They'd run off, steal cars. We'd bring them back. And I remember the time we brought them back, and I called, I forget who, I guess it was Dan Gilly at the time. I called somebody at the sheriff's office. I said, I need some handcuffs. Mm-hmm. So I went and got some handcuffs and handcuffed one of the boys to the bathroom so he couldn't leave at night.
Yeah.
Walter came out there and said, Rich, you can't do that. You got to take those off. You got to take those off, Rich. Yeah. I said, he keeps running, Walter. He said, I know. Somebody's going to have to watch him. You're going to have to stay up.
But we can't do that.
Can't do that, he said. Walter was a heck of a nice guy, though.
Boy, a nice guy.
Yeah.
And he started that out of compassion, didn't he? Not out of profit. Nothing like that.
And then he come to work for the DA's office.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he worked for Steve Bibb for a while. Walter was a great guy.
Didn't his daughter run that for a while or something?
I can't remember if she did or not. I just remember Diane Jackson taking over after Walter left.
Yeah.
But that's a really good organization.
Dealing with those delinquent kids, I guess your parole is not necessarily delinquent kids, but it's in the same realm of people that are doing misdemeanors and stuff like that. It's the same.
It is.
It's probably a lot of the same people.
It is. I just would never deal with juveniles. I've always dealt with adults, because with juveniles you got mamas and grandmamas and aunts and uncles. Adults, I can just say, it's just you and me. Dude.
Yeah.
I don't need your girlfriend or your wife to come in here. It's you and me. Mm-hmm. But it's I have what I believe is a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 rule. So 1/3 of the people that get in trouble don't need me. Mm-hmm. They make a mistake, they're going to take care of their obligations, and they're going to get out of probation. Another third will nickel and dime me. They'll come in 1 month, they'll miss a month, they'll pay, they won't pay. They'll try to get in here the last day of the month. They'll just kind of nickel and dime. Mm-hmm. And then the other third will just in and out of jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. It doesn't bother them. Jail doesn't bother them.
It's their safe zone. So.
Yeah, I mean, you'll say, well, I'm going to give you 90 days. Well, good. That's 90 days. I ain't got to fool with the wife and the two kids. And, so.
Yeah, if you're in jail, you can say, hey, I'm in jail. I can't help with that.
Yeah, that's right.
I couldn't help. I went to jail.
That's exactly right.
Good excuse, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the 1/3 that are going to nickel and dime you, they're going to always be that way.
Oh, they are.
There's no change in that. There's no change.
No, it's tough, and you see a lot of repeat offenders. They just, we used to have a thing where you'd have some people come into court and they'd say, well, just put it on my tab.
Yeah.
Put it on my tab, But Judge Collins he doesn't allow that. He's gotten a lot tougher. He's got a different mindset. On a second violation, he's usually going to say, you're going to serve your time. Time for you to serve your time. So.
Yeah, if you take that option of parole off, that'll get around. That word will get around.
Yeah, it does. They know. And if you pick up a new charge, he's asking my office to do a violation. First thing he'll ask you, are you on probation? Yeah, okay, what are you on probation for? Drug paraphernalia. And you picked up another drug paraphernalia, I'll be asking for a violation. So we'll see you on Thursday. So, yeah, there's a lot of repeat offenders. But it's been interesting. People don't realize that there's probably over $1 million that come through my office in any given year.
And those people that are paying you are not paying check into cash. They're not paying their rent. They're not paying their rent to own stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not paying their child support.
Right.
And that's the fact.
And we have a lot of people that when we get them in jail, I'll say, "Do you got anything else holding you?" And they'll say, "Yeah, I've got a child support hold." You know, so I mean, we try to set them up.
A lot of people think it's a money racket.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of money in the criminal justice system, but here, and I think that's part of the problem with legislators sometimes. You know, they'll put, for example, if you have a shoplifting charge at Walmart and you plead guilty to it, well, now they're banning you from Walmart. They'll say, "D, you can't come to Walmart for the next year while you're on probation." If you go back into Walmart, now they're charging you with aggravated burglary.
You just needed a pack of cheese.
Yeah. And really, before, it used to be a criminal trespass. Now it's a burglary, which makes it a felony. When it's really a criminal trespass. So you got some of our legislators coming up with these things that I wish they would call the DA's office and the judges and say, "What do you think about this?"
Let them get some milk, man.
Yeah.
They're going to go. Does Dollar General do that?
No. See, that's the other problem that we're having. You know, Walmart we used to have what was called Walmart Day in Sessions Court, first Tuesday of the month. Now loss prevention doesn't prosecute as much as they used to. Loss prevention doesn't prosecute shoplifters in the dollar store. They don't prosecute shoplifters at Target. They don't prosecute shoplifters at Kohl's. So we don't have anybody really prosecuting shoplifters.
Why don't they prosecute them? Just too much liability?
Well, I think that's some of it, and some of it is they don't want to take the time to come to court and say, "Yes, I arrested D. Yes, he had 2 pairs of pants and a shirt on him.
Yeah.
Yes." They don't want to take that time, and they don't want to spend the money, but
it's more expensive to
that's
go
what
after.
They say, but you know, a few years ago, we were talking to one of the loss prevention guys, and he said Walmart lost over $1 million in shoplifting. Well, if they're losing that much money, they're passing that down to you and me when we're buying items.
But boy, I remember when I was a teenager, I went inside Kmart, and some guy followed me out all the way down the mall and checked my pockets for shoplifting. And I just bought a tape or something. Boy, that made me so mad. Yeah. If I could have sued him, I'd have sued him. I mean, I was so embarrassed, and it was so humiliating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they get some guy down here, some mall cop, that says you stole something and didn't, there's probably a ton of liability in that.
Well, and the other thing they run into now, I think Walmart's gotten better because they've started hiring more people, but for a while you just scanned items, right?
Yeah.
And they got a lot of people, you might have 12 items and they scan 10 of them.
Yeah, oops.
Yeah, and most of them, I don't think the intent was to steal, but they thought they had beep, beep,
yeah, it's a good argument.
Yeah. And then you walk out and you say, "Hey, I just saw that you didn't scan 2 of those items." So
there'll be a day when you walk into a store, you pick up what you want, you'll leave, and it will charge your credit card, and you won't have to even check out or nothing.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Thinking of that, have you ever been to that place on Old McDonald Road, that vegetable stand? If you go down Old McDonald Road, right before you it's on the McDonald Road, and I think it's Pine Drive, I think.
Okay.
There's a building on the right. It's about as big as this room. And you just walk in, get what you want. You leave the money in the jar, and you leave.
Huh. Well, that's like the farmer on Michigan Avenue. Doesn't he have that little fruit stand? You can.
Yeah, is it self-serve?
It's self-serving.
I like that idea, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. If you can get trustworthy people to do it.
Yeah, and if they, what's to lose, right? You know. There's a lot more of those out than you realize, isn't there? Those little self-serve things.
Yeah.
I don't know Michigan. Are you talking about there on at the end of 20th and Michigan Avenue?
Right
that used to be Gilliland's.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, he was a nice guy. Nobody's still from him.
Yeah.
Everybody loved him. John Gilliland.
Yeah. He usually
think
has
that's his name.
tomatoes and greens and corn and all kinds of
Strawberries.
Yeah, everything out there. And it's pretty good stuff too. He does a good job.
Yeah. Why in the world would you want to run for county commissioner? I mean, think about it. You got everything going for you. You got your day job, you got your evening job.
Well, I guess the reason I wanted to run, this is my second time running actually.
Oh, you ran before?
I ran 4 years ago.
Who'd you run against?
Howard Thompson. And got beat by 137 votes.
How many votes were out there?
Not many. I think we only had like 19% of the people actually
So
come
1,500?
out. Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah,
15.
you'll win.
But I've helped people my whole career. That's all I've done. I've tried to help people get through probation or if they needed rehab. I think this is, if you ask anybody that's been on probation with me or any games that I referee, the one thing I think they would say about Rich Kienlen is he's fair. He's fair. There's some people that they'll argue with me, I shouldn't be in jail. And I'll say, well, you hadn't done A, B, and C.
They're probably,
you're
most
right.
of them's not voting.
No.
You're just, so are you in that community?
I am.
Whereabouts you live at?
So I live off Bates Pike in Greystone subdivision.
Kent Berry subdivision?
Kent Berry subdivision, yes, sir.
Who built your house?
I can't remember the guy's name. His son used to play basketball with my son, but I moved in that subdivision in 2007. Brand new house.
Right before the crash.
Right before the crash, yes, sir. But I just think I've worked in government for 39 years now, 16 years in state government, 23 years in county government. I think I understand how government works. I understand how budget works. I think I could be a positive role model. I think I'll work hard. I'll be transparent. I'll be accountable. The freeing thing for me about running for county commissioner is I can't make you any promises because I'm one of 8 votes. So I can't say, for example, the sheriff's office, I'm gonna get you a 5% raise, just vote for me. I'm one of 8 votes.
Yeah.
So I can't make those kind of promises. All I can do is say, I'll be willing to listen. I'll be willing to be honest and transparent. I'll try to do the right thing and I'll work hard. And so I feel like I could be a benefit to the county.
You seem like you'd be approachable.
Oh, I think I am.
I think that's very important, don't you?
I do. I think it's very important to be approachable.
Even though you disagree.
Yes.
You're approachable. That's a big deal in small government.
It is. One of the things my dad used to tell me is you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you got to listen twice as much as you speak. I don't always do that, but I think that's a good rule of thumb to have. Because I don't have all the answers. Nobody does.
No, I don't even know all the questions.
No, right. And I think the biggest thing is people are afraid to fail, and I don't think you can succeed unless you are afraid to fail. You got to fail. Not be afraid to fail, but you got to fail. You got to be willing to fail.
Oh, you got to be. The ability to be embarrassed is a superpower.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And admit when you're wrong. Just say you're wrong. I think most people in my office would tell you, I don't have a problem making the decision, and if it's a wrong decision further down the road, let's trial hike and kick it down the road and do something
Well, a lot
different.
of times people are making decisions on the information they have at the time.
Absolutely.
And so that, you can't fault a guy for that.
No. And I think most people have tunnel vision. They think of how things affect them, and as a commissioner, you got to be a big picture kind of guy. Just like I am as a director, I can't think of just one officer. I got to think, how's it going to affect all the office or all the offenders? I can't just do it for one. So.
How does refereeing, county commissioner, and probation officer, on all 3 of them, you'd be not passing judgment, but in a ruling
You would. You'd be kind of in control in decision making, for sure. You'd be making decisions that would affect people all the time.
But in this role, you're making the decisions prior to the offense.
True.
In the other two, you're making a judgment call on what happened.
True.
On this, you're actually affecting what happens.
Yes.
Interesting.
That's a good point.
I don't know what it means, but
well, I'm not afraid to make decisions, even if they're tough decisions, and I'm not afraid for people to criticize me. Like I said, I've gotten thicker skin over the years, and sometimes people's criticisms are true. Mm-hmm. And if you'll take, I remember I had bought a 300 Chrysler, and it was the nicest car I ever had. And I remember telling my dad, "Hey, Dad, I just got a 300 Chrysler I bought, and it's really nice." Mm-hmm. And I remember going into Cleveland Plywood because my son had broke out a window, and I was getting some plywood, and there was two people on probation that were working there. And one of them said, "Man, Rich, that's a nice-looking car you got." And I said, "Well, I appreciate that." The other one said, he didn't like me. He said, "Yeah, and you and I are paying for it." Well, that kind of ticked me off as I drove off. And then I thought, you know what? He's exactly right. Because if they weren't on probation, I wouldn't have this job.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
But it's those kind of things that sometimes criticisms are good. And if you'll take the time to evaluate what people are saying and not just throw it off.
Sometimes it's just, I don't know if it's a benefit to listen to criticism. I know that's unpopular, but what does it gain, really? You can't, you evaluate it and say, "Oh, yeah, I should have not wore a hat or wore a hat." I have people say, "Why don't you ask him this question? Why didn't you ask him that question?" I don't know. Let them sit here.
Right.
It's not easy.
Right.
It's not easy. If they say, "Oh, you talk too much," I know that.
Right.
I almost already know. They don't need to remind me.
Right.
I can't,
Well, anybody can be a Monday morning quarterback.
or a backseat driver.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's easy to make those kind of decisions, but until you walk in somebody's shoes, and that's what you have to do.
Like the Indians say, you got to walk. What do they say?
Walk in the moccasins.
Walk a mile in their moccasins.
Yeah. There's a lot of truth to that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of truth to that.
You see a lot of those old sayings. There's a lot of truth to them in there.
There is.
I mean, it's old stuff.
It is, but boy, it has an impact on you if you think about it.
There ought to be a calendar with 365 sayings. Mm-hmm. Like walk a mile in their shoes, right. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. Yeah. All those things.
Mayor Davis hands out a calendar every year. He's got a little booklet, and it has a lot of those sayings. Presidents have said little quotes at the top that I like getting those because
I don't think I've gotten any of that one.
Yeah.
See, he'll watch this and he'll bring me one because of his criticism. Right. Boy, isn't he a good mayor?
Oh, he is.
Oh man, can you imagine? I mean,
he's got a tough job.
Yeah, and he's kept our taxes.
Yep.
That's the big question. So many people don't want to raise taxes.
Right. Well, he's got a tough job ahead of him. I mean, I know law enforcement's coming, first responders are coming, schools are coming.
Oh yeah, first responders been on him hot and heavy, hasn't
Yeah, they have. That's a tough job, and it is. I mean, I know a lot of people in county government that are working 2 jobs just because our pay is not where it needs to be or where it should be, and that makes it tough.
And I like Steve Lawson. I love him. Signed his petition.
Yeah.
But man, he some of those people that he's got, and I am in favor of them getting more money. Yeah. You can't have a guy stopping a car at 2:00 in the morning, walking up to a car blindly with tinted windows for $25,000 a year. You can't do it.
Yeah.
It's wrong on every account.
It is.
But now, could they hire somebody? I asked him one time, and I don't know nothing about what I'm talking about, but get half of them and pay them a lot. Yeah. Maybe that's the
I think
answer.
that's where the rubber meets. That's the difficult thing, where the rubber meets the road. I think is that I think we got to get to the point where we're paying people and we're hiring them, training them for them to go elsewhere. And I think it would be more cost effective to pay them a little bit more so that we don't hire them, train them for somebody other agencies.
Well, it's similar to this. Have you ever thought about a store, and I'll say Walmart just because we talked about it, but they'll spend millions and millions and billions of dollars every year to get you to get there.
Right.
And when you get there, they've got a minimum wage employer greeting you.
Right.
Now, what if they had a $100,000 a year, just a person that could run that cash register and could smile and get you out of there quick? Yeah. Wouldn't that be worth 3 employees?
Oh, I think so.
I mean, I've seen those grocery store people. They could, back when I worked at Cook's and stuff, I mean, they'd do that stuff and get you out of there. Yeah. And Conrad Day would bag your groceries and they'd get you out of there. That's what you want.
That's what you want.
And then you don't have to advertise. You'll be back.
That's exactly right. Well, isn't that what Chick-fil-A kind of does?
That's exactly what. Service. That's exactly. And they don't even have salt on the food.
That's right.
I mean, you know, how can they make it without salt?
Right.
Fast service.
Yeah, yeah. I remember.
And they're friendly. You know, I've only been there 2 or 3 times. But boy, they are friendly and efficient. They're standing out of that, instead of coming out of that window like this, they walk out like they're on a porch.
They do.
They're nearly get in your car and hand you your food.
My daughter used to work there. It was one of her first jobs, and I remember talking to the owner at the time. It was Mark, and he said, "Rich, we make more in 6 days than Steak and Shake makes being open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day."
To my point.
That's exactly right.
Get 2/3 of the officers and pay them a fortune.
Yes.
They won't leave.
They'll
do a good job.
Yes.
They know not to stop that car for no reason.
That's exactly right. We got to get to that point because we're training people and they're going to other agencies, other counties.
But at the same time, Steve knows. He knows. He's lived and breathed that stuff. He's just born with it. So whatever he says, I'm with. But you know, it's interesting, all the dynamics that goes around everything. It's just, we don't know, do we? We just don't know.
No.
It's like them telling me how to run my business. They don't have a clue.
Right.
I don't have a clue with theirs.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. People have tunnel vision, and when they talk about money, and they just know how it affects them. And if they don't know the ins and outs of, like, for example, in my job, I got probation officers with 4-year degrees not making $43,000 a year. That's not right.
It's not right.
It's not right.
It's
because
criminal.
They're dealing with offenders. They're dealing with judges and DAs and public defenders and mental health people in jail and law enforcement. You're dealing with all those people. You just can't hire somebody off the street with a high school diploma. You got to have somebody that knows a little bit about what they're doing, has a little bit of common sense, and we just have to do better. We do. We just have to do better.
Yeah, $43,000 a year. I mean, I got cleanup guys make that.
Yeah, like I said, I know a lot of people that are working 2 jobs just to try to make ends meet or have a little something extra.
If you're working 2 jobs, you better be clearing $150,000 a year. Right.
I wish. I wish.
Whenever you read a story in the newspaper or see something on television about somebody getting arrested, you naturally assume they're guilty. Unless the story's about you or someone you love, then you'll think differently. And you'll want a lawyer who will defend you. My name's Scott Canavis. If you or someone you love has been charged with a crime, call me. I'll return your phone calls, I'll work on your case, and I will defend you.
My dad ran for county commissioner and won. And he said the first day he went in there, he said he didn't know what to do, so he stopped at the payphone and got the phone book, and he just started going through the pages like he was looking for something. Pretty good idea, wasn't it?
It was pretty good.
Just
idea.
looked like he was checking something out.
Hey, they tell you in refereeing, fake it till you make it, right?
Boy, that's so true. Isn't that so
It
true?
is. Because people, again.
And when when you fake it, maybe you're not faking it.
That's
maybe
exactly
maybe
right.
your subconscious is taking over.
Well, you're doing the best you can with what you know,
That's
right?
it.
And that's all you can do,
That's
right?
all you can do. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, does
No.
it? None of this matters.
No, not at the end of the day.
None of this
no.
matters. You know, I can think of people that have died 6 years ago. They don't even they're not even remembered anymore.
Listen, I remember when I started Misdemeanor Probation, and they had done a couple articles on me. And I called my dad, and I said, Dad, you need to pull up the Cleveland Banner. They've done these articles on me. And he pulled it up, and he called me back, and he said, can I ask you something? And I said, yeah. He said, why are you doing an article in the paper for? I said, what do you mean? He said, I don't understand. He said, just do your job. I said, well, if I don't brag on myself, who will? And he said, I'll tell you what. He said, go get you a bucket of water, put your hand in it, pull it out, and tell me how much water's left in there. And I said, what's your point? He said, you ain't that important. He said, listen, do your job. People will take notice. You don't have to say a word. He said, because you could die next week, and in a week they'll have you replaced, and in a month they'll say, Rich who?
That's exactly right.
And he was so true. It was so humbling.
I heard a guy this week, Scott Adams. You don't know him, I don't guess. Anyway, it's a whole nother, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, you know. Anyway, he died last week. It was really sad. And I was listening to one of his things this morning. And he said, picture yourself carrying a potato across town. And you don't carry, you just carry the potato. He said, now picture yourself carrying a Picasso original across town. Now you're a nervous wreck. He says, be the potato.
Yeah.
You know, you're not the Picasso.
No.
You're the potato.
That's it.
It's not that important.
It's not.
All you're doing in county commission is reversing something they did 6 years ago that they adopted 4 years ago that they redid 10 years ago.
Right.
It's not that big a deal. Just keep the cost down and the quality up.
That's it. That's it right there. Keep it simple.
You know, I wondered how many people we got on the county commission. Let's see now, Josh, what's his name? Josh Taylor?
Josh Taylor.
What's he running for?
He's running for 4th District County Commissioner, Seat A, and I'm running for Seat B.
Boy, you talk about a candidate. Now, he will be a good one.
He is a good one.
He will be a good one.
Josh
buddy.
is a good one. He is. Fine fella.
He'll take care of his business.
Yep, he will.
Y'all would be a great team.
I think so, too. We're hoping so. We're hoping so. Yeah.
He's under the radar.
He is. I got a lot of respect for Josh. When he came out and said he was running in Donut's spot, I was going to run in that spot because I didn't know if Howard was going to run or not. Mm-hmm. And when he came out, I went and talked to him. I said, listen, I'm not going to run against you. I got too much respect and admiration for you. So if I run, I'm going to run against Howard. Mm-hmm. And then Howard decided not to run. So I got 3 or 4 other candidates that have picked up petition, but nobody's turned them in. So we'll see.
I know
what
you've got
happens.
a lot of support online from a lot of, my cousin Tim's one.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get much higher in my book by him supporting you.
Right.
And a lot of other people.
I've been around a long time, Dee. I've been in Bradley County for 45 years, and I've been in the basketball arena. I've been in probation in the criminal justice system. I've tried to help a lot of people. I've been involved in a lot of things.
Go to Mount Olive.
Go to Mount Olive.
You know Hippie Beads? Elmer Earls?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did he go out there or did he go start going somewhere else?
I think he started going somewhere
I think
else.
he did too.
Yeah.
He's a real good friend of mine.
Yeah. I run Polk County Probation. I run community service program. I'm on the community
Polk
corrections.
County? Yeah, is that, what's her name?
Brooklyn Townsend.
Yeah,
the judge.
Brooklyn Townsend.
Yep.
I had to go before her for a traffic ticket. Yeah, boy, it was crazy. Anyway, all turned out good. I hired Jimmy Logan.
Jim.
Next thing I know, I was in the room with the arresting officer, well, not arresting, what do you call that? Just when you get a traffic ticket.
Yeah.
But so next thing I know, I'm sitting in that room with the guy. Jimmy had it worked out before we went before her, which I was embarrassed. I didn't want him to work it out, not me.
Right.
Yeah, me talking to the guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Polk County, isn't that a great place?
Oh, it is.
Man.
And listen, people on Polk County probation are a little different than Bradley County in this sense. They tend to be very obligational.
That's a good word.
If they plead guilty and they're put on probation, a great majority of them want to make sure they pay their probation fines and costs. And they're very obligated about it. And they take a lot of pride in it. They don't have a lot of money, but they take a lot of pride.
You know,
in it.
you're exactly right. You're exactly right. They feel obligatory.
Yes. They really, it's a sense of obligation to make sure they take care of their responsibility. It really is.
It's like I had a carpenter one time that didn't do that good, and they said he's an idiot, and I said, yeah, he's our idiot.
Right.
You know, we're with him.
Right.
He's with us. And,
Right.
you know, so they're like that.
Yeah.
We're going to we might not be guilty, but this is our obligation
That's
to
exactly
take care
right.
of that.
That's exactly
You're
right.
exactly right. They do have a sense of obligation.
And it doesn't matter how poor they are, they want to take care of their obligation.
Or maybe even if they even thought they was guilty, that's their obligation.
That's
and I
exactly
think
right.
that comes from a small
Town
mentality.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I bet you these people that loan money will say about the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I would say you're right. Yeah, it's a different mindset.
What about Ducktown? Is that separate from you?
It is. Well, we get them from Ducktown. Now, we used to have Ducktown Court up there, but the building got condemned. So all of Ducktown Court now comes down to Benton. But we used to have Ducktown Court up there. We used to have
Was
to
there
go
a lot of people there?
There was
a lot of meth up there.
Yeah, there
isn't
was a lot of meth up there. There's
God, that
a lot
meth.
of drugs come, from the Georgia side of town. And
That meth, man,
meth and
that's
fentanyl
almost
is just...
60% of all the problems, isn't it?
Well, meth and fentanyl. We've had a lot of fentanyl, too. My son used to work for the Drug Task Force here, and he got hired on with ATF now, but he said, Dad, you can't imagine how much drugs are in Bradley County. He said, it's unreal.
I feel like if they just made it all legal, it would nearly go extinct. I mean, I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know about that either, but he said there's a lot. I think the fact that we live on the interstate has a lot to do with it. You can travel from a long way, go.
they say up in Virginia and places like that, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's-
what is it that meth does? I've known some people on it. They just always doing their job.
Oh,
like
yeah,
this. They're always opening up computers.
Yes.
Like looking in the back of computers. They're weird and hyper.
Very hyper.
But I noticed the same with people that are on Adderall.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can't be too far off.
No, it can't be. There's just, there's so many people that are hopeless right now, and they look for escape. And boy, once that drug gets an addiction on you, I mean, Judge Collins tries to send them to treatment if they're interested in treatment. But there's so many of them out there that they just look for an escape. And the reality is, once you go get high or do whatever, you still got the same problems when you get done with that high. You just escape for a little while, but
It's no different than watch a good TV show, man. It lasts about the same length of time.
Right.
You know, a couple hours.
yeah, but
What else is going on? Greystone, my mother, she was raised on Bates Pike down at Union Grove Church of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good place to live, isn't it?
It is. Greystone they've added a lot of new houses in there since I've been in there.
You know, when you go over that one hill, that asphalt is slick. You ever notice that?
It is real slick.
I don't know what makes it that slick.
I don't know. I came down Bates Pike going towards Oak Grove one time, and I barely hit my brakes, and I hydroplaned and flipped my car in the ditch.
You know, they've repaved that for 20 years, and it's still like that.
Yeah.
It's something about, it's not the asphalt.
No.
It's something we don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So boy, that hydroplaning,
Oh, that's something else.
man, you cannot control it.
No, I couldn't believe it. My car flipped upside down. I mean, luckily I wasn't hurt, but I was like, dang, I'm upside down. How am I going to get out of this car?
You know, black ice is worse.
Oh, it is. I was so thankful that we haven't got the ice yet. It may come tonight, but I was really thankful that we didn't
If
get
you
any ice.
ever hit black ice one time, you'll never drive fast over in sleet ever again,
I
because
bet.
you're just a shooting
Oh, yeah.
target, man.
Yeah, no control over your vehicle at all.
What else is going on with you?
You know, back in August, I found out that I had a aneurysm on my heart, and I had to have open heart surgery.
Did you have a stent?
No, they actually cut my chest open, removed the aneurysm. It was about 5.5 centimeters. They said it was the size of a lemon. And
Well, that's hard to believe,
it
isn't it?
is. And I asked my daughter, who's a physician's assistant, I said, how did this happen? And she said, I don't know. She said, Daddy, usually people over 65, smokers, and have high blood pressure. I said, I don't check any of those boxes. So I went and had a simple calcium test. If you've never had one, it's $69. Your insurance won't pay for it. You go in this arc of a machine, in and out about 3 minutes, and it's over. And they called me back and they said, Rich, we need you to see the cardiologist. And I said, why is that? And they said, your test was abnormal. And I said, what do you mean abnormal? I said, we can't talk to you. You got to come talk to the cardiologist.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
They
So
ought to have the person that can tell you about it.
That's
call you.
exactly right.
That's so
It was
stupid.
It was frustrating. So I go down there and he says, you got an aneurysm on your heart and we're going to have to take it out. And I was like, you can't put a stent in? He said, no, it's too big. You're going to have your chest cut open. Not on any medication, no chest pains. I'm running up and down the basketball court 4 or 5 times a night, 4 or 5 times a week. So I said, when? He said, we're going to schedule it for next week. And I said, oh, no, we can't do it next week. I said, I've got to wrap my head around this. So he said, well, we need to do a couple of tests. So they did an echocardiogram, found out I had 80% blockage in one artery, 40 in another, or 50 in another. I said, well, what are we going to do about that? We'll fix the 80, we'll leave the 50 alone. And I said, why? You already got me wide open. Why not fix everything? Well, 70 is our barometer. So they said, one more thing. We may have to replace your aorta valve. And I said, what do you mean may? And they said, well, we won't know till you have surgery. And they said, do you want the mechanical, the cow, or something
God,
else?
and here you were the day before watching TV.
Absolutely. And I was like, well, give me the pros and cons. They said, well, the mechanical is good for life, but you'll have to be on blood thinner forever. The cow is only good for 15 years, but you won't have to be on any medication. I said, let's do the cow. Maybe I can work part-time for Chick-fil-A when I get done or something, you know. So August 29th, Labor Day weekend, I had surgery, had open heart surgery. It went really well. They took the aneurysm out. They replaced my aorta valve, fixed the blockage. On Sunday, the surgeon came in and she said, Rich, most of the time people gain 20 to 25 pounds in fluid. I can't tell you've had surgery except for your scar on your chest. She said, your body's responded well. You're not a smoker, you're not a drinker, you're not on any medication, all that's benefited you. And I said, well, I got 2 questions for you. When can I go back to work, and when can I get back on the basketball court? She said, well, usually I say 2 months for work. Well, that was August 29th. October 6th, I was back part-time, and November 1st, I was back on the basketball court. And I lost 15 pounds. She said, you got a brand new heart, got a brand new lookout on life, you got a brand new aorta valve, you're good to go.
It makes you wonder if that was all real, but I guess it was. but
I said, how does this
do
happen?
you feel any different now?
See, I don't.
Golly.
People have asked me, did you feel it? I said, I didn't feel bad before I had the surgery.
Yeah.
I didn't have any chest pain. She said, what about running up and down the steps or going up a hill? I said, nothing. Did you feel tired? No, didn't feel tired.
Have you ever seen those people that online that had their arteries will reroute around stuff?
I've heard about it.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. It's amazing what the body can do. And
it may be that if you hadn't had it and you hadn't have gone in, then you'd have died with it of something else.
Oh, yeah. Well, and she told me, I said, well, what could cause the aneurysm to burst? And she said, anything, really. And I said, what, could I sneeze too hard? Yeah. She said, no, I don't think that would cause it to burst. I said, what about a car wreck and the airbag go off? She said, it's happened. And she said, if it bursts, Rich, you cannot get to the hospital fast enough. You'll bleed out. So I said, well, when do I need to have surgery? And she said, I wouldn't put it off a year. I would do it as quickly as you can. So I did. I mean, it was a shocker to me.
Sure, yeah.
But I thank God they found it. Because I could have been running down the basketball court, fell out, and they said, what happened to Rich? We thought he was in great shape.
How many people do they say have that don't know it?
Oh, I don't know.
I wonder what the statistics of that are.
That would be a good question.
I bet if you had it with all your good health and stuff, I'd say that maybe 30 or 40% of it.
Well, and it could have been hereditary, because she said there's what they call 3 tricuspids that your blood flow does. And she said 2 of my tricuspids had merged together. And so I don't know if that caused the aneurysm to grow. And I said, well, how long do you think it's been there? And she said, I have no way of knowing because you've never done another calcium test. But I can tell you this, it didn't grow that big overnight. It's been growing for quite some time, which is scary. You know?
Sure it is.
So I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't you have everybody do a calcium test?
Yeah, check it on Thursdays.
Yeah, for $69, it's well worth the money. So I feel really good. It took me a little while to get my appetite back and to sleep all night.
It's so devastating. Even if they fix you think, is there something they're not seeing otherwise?
Right. Well, and I still feel so they tied my chest back together with titanium. So when it's really, really cold out, my chest hurts. Actually hurts.
That's the only thing that bothers you now is what they did.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I mean, I'm able to run up and down the basketball court. I'm doing 4 or 5 nights a week, and
your color's good.
Yeah.
You know, you can always tell if people are okay by their color.
That's true.
That's never failed me.
Yeah.
Your color's real good.
Yeah. I've been blessed. I tell my pastor, Pastor Gary and Pastor James, I'm a walking miracle, literally, because I could have not found it. She asked me to do it 6 months before that, and I put it off. I was like,
asked you to do the calcium test?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I said, why do I need the calcium test? She said, well, your cholesterol's borderline. I said, yeah, but we've kind of figured it out. When basketball season is in, my cholesterol's low. When it's out, it's high. So I need to exercise more during the summer.
Yeah.
I said, I figured that out. She said, I just wish you would have it, Rich. And I said, okay, I'll go.
It makes you wonder if she was seeing something.
Yeah, that's true.
Who is she? Can you say?
Was Dr. Marquez down in Ottawa is the one that his PA saw it.
Who's your daughter work for?
She is actually doing a phone telemed out of California. So she works, and they call her, and she does it on Zoom.
So she's a physician's assistant. Where'd she get her?
Lincoln Memorial.
Well, that's where my son's going.
Is that right?
He's planning on it, and
Great school. But now you talk about money. She had to borrow $100,000.
God, don't tell her he's going to medical school.
That's where she went. And I told her, I said, well, listen, how much are you willing to invest in yourself? Because you'll get that back as a physician assistant.
Well, is he's going for a DO or OD? What do you call that? DO or
DO?
something. Is that? I'm sure that's more.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
And so it was $100,000.
She came out
I
of
think
that-
this is like 460.
Yeah, she came out $100,000 in debt. But now
Well, he's
she's
going to come out 460 in debt.
she's traveled and did traveling work in California. She went on an Indian reservation in Montana.
Boy, I bet that was
Oh,
neat,
yeah.
wasn't it? Boy,
She-
what
lot
an
of experience.
What an experience,
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No.
You can't replace that.
No, you cannot. And she's got two sons, and they went with her and her husband
Oh,
to
Lord.
have that experience and that exposure. Yeah, it was unbelievable. But yeah, she went to Lincoln Memorial. It was a really good school.
And it's not, what, an hour away, hour
Yeah.
and 15 minutes?
Yeah, hour and
Did
15
she
minutes.
live there?
She did. She lived.
Where do
she
you
got
have
an
to
apartment.
stay?
She got an apartment.
That's what
that
I'm
was
going to have
close
him.
to the campus.
Like what, $1,200 a month or
Yeah,
$600 a
yeah, it
month?
was probably $1,200 a
Yeah.
month. Yeah, but she really enjoyed Lincoln Memorial. It
Deal
was
forget his shoes. He's that type. You
I
know the
remember
type.
I remember the first time they went on these, I forget what they called them, but they would have to go to different places all over the country.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're saying, yeah.
The first one she went to was in Houston, Texas,
Uh-huh.
and she had to cut a guy's leg off.
Golly.
And I said, Lord, Amber, how did you do that? She said, I just got the saw and did it. She said, I was holding his leg up when I cut it. But I was like, wow.
I couldn't do that.
No,
Could
that's-
you?
no.
I'd have to say, it's just, God, I couldn't do it.
I mean,
I could not do it. It just had to kill it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, but she really enjoys what she's doing. Like I said, she's doing telemed now out of the state of California, but Lord, she makes good money. Makes good money doing that.
That's what I'm hoping he does.
Yeah. Well, I think he'll really enjoy Lincoln Memorial. It was a good experience for her.
I'm trying to get him into ETSU, but he's got an interview next month, but I don't know if it makes any difference. Who knows? Who knows?
That's right.
But you know, I always think of that saying from who was it? Harry Truman's mother. Was it Truman's mother or Hoover's mother? Might have been Truman's mother. They said, I guess you're proud of your son that's the president. She said, yeah, and I've got one that's out plowing the field I'm proud of too. Was that Hoover? Who was it?
I don't know if that was Hoover or not.
Or
but that-
Truman or something, but I remember that saying. In other words, they're both good boys. They're both good boys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I've got two daughters that are in the medical field. I got two sons that are in law enforcement, and then my last daughter's a junior at Bradley. I got 5 kids and 4
Golly.
grandkids.
Are you in your 60s yet?
Just turned 64, D.
You don't look it.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. God's been good to me, and I got a good wife. She loves me and takes care of me, and she was amazing during my surgery. I mean, she really had everything taken care of. It was.
You ever notice when you get in real bad trouble, your wives are more there than they are when they don't understand how much trouble you're in?
That's true.
You know, sometimes you can't explain how much trouble we're in.
Yeah, but she's been good to me, and God has really been good to me.
Hey, do you remember this picture right here? Do you remember this guy?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, yes.
Did you watch him as a
I
kid?
did. Yep.
What a great show,
Oh,
wasn't
my
it? What a
goodness.
great show.
Him and Captain Kangaroo.
Oh, Captain Kangaroo,
Loved
Mr. Green Jeans.
Mr. Green Jeans.
Mr.
Loved
Banana
Captain-
Man. Banana
Yes,
Man.
Loved Captain Kangaroo.
You know, we could only watch him when we were sick at home because you
right.
couldn't watch him and you couldn't tell anybody you was watching Mr. Rogers. You had to, because the other kids would laugh at you.
That's true. That's true.
I've got it on reruns. I've been watching some, but I just can't stand that puppet stuff. That's.
Yeah.
But we don't have that. Do kids have that anymore?
They don't.
What do they have? I knew they had a Barney, the purple elephant
Yep.
or something.
Yep. And The Simpsons, which was crazy.
Yeah, but it wasn't learning.
No,
I mean, I'm
it
talking
wasn't.
about. I mean,
As far as learning,
I mean, Mr. Roger was trying to make a better world.
Yeah.
What
The
was
Muppets maybe?
Yeah, and what was that other show? Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
Remember that?
Yeah.
The Grouch and the Cookie Monster.
Yes. Yeah, we don't have those shows like that anymore.
Do you ever think about those shows anymore?
No, not really. It's been so long. And there's so, like you said, social media and AI and all that stuff out there. It's crazy what our social media is. How'd we ever do without cell phones?
Well, we just stopped at payphones. We stopped at convenience stores and grocery stores and the supply houses, and we borrowed people's phones. And I remember people stopping and saying, "Can I borrow your phone?"
Right.
Remember that, those
Yeah.
days?
Yeah.
And I don't think that people required your phone call to do what you were going to do. We stop now and say, "Hey, are you still going to come there Thursday?"
Right.
Back then, they said they were going to be there Thursday. There wasn't any question. They're going to be there Thursday.
Yeah, your word meant something.
Yeah,
didn't
so I think that's a lot of the phone calls now. Did you say Thursday or did
Right.
you say Friday? See, 40 years ago, they'd have wrote down Thursday,
it? Yeah.
I think.
And people had adhered to their word. If they told you something, they would do it. You can't count on that now.
If it meant just a little bit of blood, they would do it. A lot of blood, they may not. But
Right.
it was the old saying, your word's your bond. You
Yeah.
remember that? Those
Yes.
sayings?
Yeah.
They don't hear that
No.
anymore.
No.
Is your dad still living?
No, my dad and mom both have passed away. It's weird not having parents anymore. It really is.
They say that is, both of mine are still alive. They say that is just undescribable.
It is. I mean, holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you think about picking up the phone and calling them, and they're not there.
Even the bad memories of holidays are still good.
Still good, yeah, yeah. Even, my dad and I would talk politics or we'd talk sports. I remember the biggest argument we ever had after living down here for a while when Peyton Manning didn't win the Heisman. And Woodson did. He was arguing for Woodson over Peyton Manning.
You couldn't have it.
I couldn't let that
Yeah.
go, being a volunteer fan, and that was the biggest argument we ever had. But
You think a lot of your dad.
I do.
You've mentioned him 10 times.
He's my hero. He really is.
What made him that? He worked 45 years at a factory making spark plugs.
That and the fact that I don't ever remember doing without anything. I remember when I was in high school and played basketball, he went to every one of my games, wrote me a nice letter after the season was over, told me I had a great season. In his mind, I was an all-stater and that I'd played with the best of my ability. He was just always there for me, and he always taught me things that I didn't realize he was teaching me. I remember the time I got my first car, and we'd had a snowstorm up there, and I went out cutting cookies, and I hit a stop sign. Big old dent. I had a Cadillac he had sold me. Big old dent in the Cadillac. Came home, and I said, "Dad, I've got a dent in my car." He said, "How'd you do that?" And I said, "I was out cutting cookies." He said, "Bet you won't do that again." Never had to say a word, Just little things. Remember, he had me working early. At 12 years old, I was delivering the Des Moines Register in my neighborhood, and I remember only a couple times when it was snowing and really cold, he'd get up and take me. Otherwise, he'd say, "Hey, it's snowing out. You might want to get started a little earlier." He taught me a great work ethic. He was just a great guy, worked hard, loved sports, very disciplined and dedicated in his work, and taught me a great work ethic. Never whipped me. He used to thump me in the head, but never whipped me. I had an older brother that I learned a lot from, and I said, well, if my older brother's doing that, I don't have to do that. So he was just a great guy.
Do you have any other sisters or other?
Yeah, I've got one brother, and I've got his, hers, and ours. So my dad got divorced when I was 7 and remarried, and my stepmother pretty much raised me. And she had a child from another man that we were both born on the same day in the same hospital, 12 hours apart. So she was like a twin sister for me. And then I got a younger sister and then another stepsister. So
your dad was your hero?
My dad was my hero. He sure was.
An uneducated factory worker.
Yep.
From Des Moines, Iowa.
Yep, Burlington, Iowa.
Burlington, Iowa.
Yep. Yeah, he was just he was just a great guy. He'd all around guy. He would snow plow the neighborhood. He'd get his snow plow, and if it snowed, he'd do everybody's sidewalk around the neighborhood. He loved the St. Louis Cardinals. Taught me to be a St. Louis Cardinal fan. He was just my hero.
Everyday hero. They call
Everyday
him, right?
hero, yes. Yeah, because he loved to go to work, loved his job.
It's those people that made America great, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
When was he born?
He was born in 1935. He died of a heart attack in 2007. He was 73 years old.
Not that long ago.
No. He was 73 years old. He had 4 bypasses about 7 years prior to that. He was a smoker and a drinker. Couldn't get him to stop smoking. I remember after he had his bypass, we tried to get him, and he was smoking in the hospital. And I remember the nurse coming in, and she said, "Who's smoking in here?" And he had that oxygen tank. He said, "Oh, I just hit a puff or two." She said, "You're going to kill us all if you don't put that cigarette out."
How old was he when he passed away?
73. 73. Yep, my mother had called me. He had watched the Iowa basketball game on Friday night. And on Saturday morning, she called me and said he had a heart attack over the night and died. But he went the way he went. He always said, I don't want to be in the hospital. I don't want to have a long hospital bill. I want to go quick when I go. And I want to be cremated. I don't want to have a big funeral bill. I want to be cremated. He went the way he wanted to go. So thankful for that. I remember.
What was his first name?
Richard.
Richard.
Yep, he was Richard. I wasn't a junior, but
yeah,
I was a Richie.
Yeah.
Looked just like him. He couldn't deny me for nothing. So, yeah, he was like you said, he was my hero. Miss him every day. We would talk politics. We'd talk sports. There's things that happen, you just want to pick up the phone and call him and say, Dad, what do you think about
You ever
this?
pick up the phone and start calling and say, oh, I forgot he's dead, or is that over now?
No, that's over with, but you sure think about it. You do. You sure think about it.
Do you ever tell your kids stuff your father told you?
Oh, yeah, all the time. All the time. One of his biggest sayings that I tell, and I say this all the time in court, he would say, if and buts were candy and nuts, we'd have Christmas every day.
That's something, isn't it?
Yep.
Rich, I've enjoyed it, buddy.
Hey, I've really enjoyed it. It's an honor to be here.
You want to tell the voters to vote for Rich Kienlen?
Yes, come out and vote in the 4th District, Seat B. Come out and vote on May 5th. Cast your vote for Rich Kienlen for County Commissioner. I'll do you proud.
And cheers to Richard Kienlen.
Yes, amen.
Great American.
Great American.